All right, it's about 10 a.m. Wednesday morning. We have a little breaking news here. I'm looking at an article on Politico. The House Judiciary Committee, which is led by Republican Jim Jordan from Ohio, has subpoenaed former special counsel Jack Smith for a closed door deposition to take place on December 17th. Well, let's go through this and then we'll talk about my thoughts about this. Reading from the Politico article, Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan, Republican from Ohio, has demanded in a letter to Jack Smith that the former DOJ official who oversaw cases around Trump's retention of classified documents and efforts to subvert the results of the 2020 election, that he provide documents to the committee by December 12th, and that he sit for a closed-door deposition with the Judiciary Committee on December 17th. Two things. I doubt that Jack Smith has any documents related to these cases in his possession at all, because unlike Donald Trump, when Jack Smith left his position as special counsel following the 2024 election results, that was his job. He left his job. Presumably, he left all of the documents that he had available to him related to the prosecution of these two cases at his job. He didn't take them with him to his Florida vacation property. First point. Second point, sit for a closed door deposition with the House Judiciary Committee on December 17th. I believe that Jack Smith has previously stated that he would be happy to sit for questioning with the House Judiciary Committee, but he wanted it open to the public. He wanted it open door with news cameras and for everyone to see. Continuing on with the article, it is a marked escalation after Jack Smith signaled an openness to answering questions, and weeks of negotiations took place over the terms of an interview. Here you go. Smith asked for a public hearing rather than a closed-door interview. Jack Smith's lawyer, Peter Koski, said in a statement that his client looks forward to meeting with the panel later this month, but that he regretted he could not appear in a public setting. His attorney said the following. So it sounds like he's going to do it anyway. This is incredibly dumb for Donald Trump and Jim Jordan to do. This is incredibly dumb for them to do. Smith's attorney said the following. Nearly 6 weeks ago, Jack Smith offered to voluntarily appear before the House Judiciary Committee in an open hearing to answer any questions lawmakers have about his investigation into President Trump's alleged efforts to unlawfully overturn the election results and his retention of classified documents. We are disappointed that offer was rejected and that the American people will be denied the opportunity to hear directly from Jack Smith on these topics. Republicans have become increasingly fixated on the probes launched during Joe Biden's presidency and Jack Smith's stewardship of these cases, arguing that the efforts amounted to a campaign to undermine Trump. He was guilty. Trump was guilty. Republicans always lose sight of that part. Republicans have sought to argue that Biden and his allies weaponized the Justice Department, even as Trump has publicly called on his attorney general to prosecute his political adversaries. The cause has become personal for some GOP members following revelations that the Justice Department requested some lawmakers' phone records as part of its investigative work. Co-conspirators. They were co-conspirators in efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Co-conspirators. Jim Jordan recently revealed that the Justice Department subpoenaed years' worth of his phone data. He's a co-conspirator in the felonies that Donald Trump was indicted for by Jack Smith. Jim Jordan is a co-conspirator. Yeah. Now he's head of the Judiciary Committee because our electorate is populated largely by selfish, bigoted morons who are easily manipulated. Representative Jamie Raskin, the committee's top Democrat, defended the former special counsel and his tactics in his statement and questioned why Republicans are insisting upon having Jack Smith testify behind closed doors. But he also criticized the phone record request targeting Jordan, which was issued before Jack Smith was named to his post. Interesting. Let's see. Raskin said the following: Special Counsel Smith's careful investigative steps stand in contrast to a separate subpoena issued for 2.5 years to Chairman Jim Jordan's personal phone records that was recently produced to the committee and appears manifestly overbroad. Jim Jordan ignored a subpoena from the January 6th committee to testify in front of the January 6th committee, as did Kevin McCarthy and several other then sitting members, Republican members of Congress. Had all been subpoenaed to testify before the January 6th committee, and all of those House and Senate Republicans refused those subpoenas and refused to appear before the committee. Steve Bannon and Peter, what's his name, also refused subpoenas from the January 6th committee, but because they were not sitting members of Congress, their refusals to obey subpoenas were referred to the Justice Department, and they were both prosecuted and sentenced to 4 months in prison. So let's talk about why this is a dumb idea. Jack Smith knows absolutely everything about Donald Trump's criminal behavior in retaining classified documents, taking them to Mar-a-Lago, lying to the government when the government tried to get them back, and Trump's efforts to obstruct the federal government in retrieving those classified documents from Mar-a-Lago. And I think he also had some at his golf course, Bedminster in New Jersey. Jack Smith knows absolutely everything about Donald Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election and the multiple 7 or 8 different conspiracies that Donald Trump was running out of the Oval Office with help from people like Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, John Eastman, Little Kenny Chesbrough, Jeffrey Clark, and the various efforts that they were engaged in to try to throw out elector certifications in the swing states. Donald Trump's hour-long phone conversation with Raffensperger in Georgia about, come on, man, just find me 11,780 votes. Come on, guys. You guys are killing me here, man. You're killing me. Just find me 12,000 votes. Jack Smith knows everything about all of these things. And if you're going to go after Jack Smith, you're going to end up relitigating all of Donald Trump's criminality related to classified documents and his efforts to overturn the 2020 election and the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6, 2021. You're going to relitigate all of these things. Jack Smith is no longer a special counsel employed by the Department of Justice. And last month, he appeared at an event, I think it was either in New York or DC, where he had a conversation with and was interviewed by former Robert Mueller team prosecutor Andrew Weissman, who Donald Trump is also targeting. And they had a very lengthy hour and a half long public conversation. Jack Smith is no longer a special counsel employed by the Department of Justice. He is free to speak freely and publicly about all of these events. Also, his special counsel's office did complete a report on the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case that he wanted to get released to the public before Donald Trump was inaugurated, was not able to do so. And now Donald Trump is fighting to have that report remain concealed from the public indefinitely. The Mar-a-Lago classified documents indictment, Google it, read it. It's unbelievable. It's amazing. It has photos. It is as close to an open and shut case. And it included Donald Trump having violated the Espionage Act 32 times and a half a dozen counts for obstruction of justice, each of which carried a maximum of 20 years in prison. Imagine if we had just put Donald Trump's fat, corpulent protuberance of an ass in prison where he fucking belongs instead of reelecting him.